All right. So anyway, so for those who are listening online, I just kind of went through the cast of characters and realized I wasn't recording. Again, the patron saint of technological ineptitude coming up here. That'll be me. Um, so anyway, but then we got a few other people that are helping on the girls' retreat. Angie Godinez, she's helping. Abby Eichelkraut will be helping a little bit on, I think, on the Friday of the boys' retreat. I don't think she's able to make the girls. I'm waiting to hear from Leah Heinzen, and Karma Kennedy said she wanted to, but I haven't been able to confirm that either. So, and then Kathleen Abrams, she will probably come on Friday. She might be able to come back on Saturday for the girls' retreat. So, but she's got a commitment Saturday morning. So, otherwise, if she didn't have the commitment, she probably would have been a girl small group leader. So, so anyway, that's kind of where we're at. So, so for the girls, probably going to be most of the small groups will have four, maybe one will have five. So that'll be a good manageable number. I mentioned, oh, there you go. I just heard a voice from heaven say, "Let me in." All right, there she is. Um, so anyway, like I mentioned, if maybe before a few you got on the workbook went to the printer today. Ah, there's Shannon. She's one of our other small group leaders. Um, the workbook went to the printer, so we're all good there. It was I copied the old one here. There's the workbook. So it's like a lot of the other books that we do. It's smaller. It's got like 56 pages, but it's pretty thin. But it's a lot of a lot of places for them to write stuff, take notes on what the speakers have to say. It looks very similar to the workbooks that we do for class. A lot of the same types of things. The small groups, though, for this, there's not like activities like for the class where you have a worksheet and do stuff. Most of the small group work is just unpacking what was talked about in the previous presentations. When we're at Goretti, when we're out in the field, there's like a page for each location. I could share one on screen, but like here's the one for the first location. You guys can probably see it. And it's got some pictures of the site. And then it's got some questions. And since we're focusing on beauty, it says some elements of beauty I see here. What makes me think of truth and goodness. A few minutes reflecting on in solitude. So a lot of the sites, there's going to be a little time for them to have some reflection time. So let's see, who besides Shannon, you been on this retreat before? I can't remember. You didn't actually do the pilgrimage in the past, did you?
No, I always did the other one.
Right. Brenda, you've been to some of the sites, but the sites that we're going to, some of them are like these little rural chapels. Others are big churches. There's a chance that we're going to stop at a little roadside chapel for the first stop on the way there. It's just out at some farm. But it's this cool little chapel that these people made in thanks for safely immigrating to the United States after World War II. It's going to be a very short stop if we can do it.
Where is that one at?
It's about 10 miles east of Plain. It's at the Hauser Farm. It's called the it's in the sheet. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I've got, where is that? There it is. I've got the PDF of, all right. Can you guys see my screen right now with the outline?
There you go.
Okay. So to back up a step, this is the first night, basically all the stuff that's there. There's, a game or two in there. There's getting the small groups broken out. Some of the videos, I did cut a couple videos out and I did rework this because this talk right here, this one by Bishop Barron, I'm going to send you guys the link to. This is a good one for all the small group leaders to watch beforehand. This is basically what this retreat is based on. And he's got some other videos on this, but this is like a very concise, here's the theory here. And in the true, the good, and the beautiful, he says, lead with the beautiful. And so he gives some examples of that. And so it would be good to get that mindset in here. So when I wrote the retreat, that was my intent. And then I went ahead and started Friday night with truth, like a doorknob. But it was because I was trying to save all the beauty for the pilgrimage. So I've reworked it now. So we talk about an introduction to the transcendentals and then lead with the beautiful on that night. And so that's what that night is all about now. There's a snack. We actually will have access to the showers. I got to send a message out to everybody. If they want to shower, though, they're going to have to bring swimsuits and a towel because it's a big group shower area. And then we'll have to set aside times where if the adults want to shower, they aren't in there at the same time as the kids. And then lights out. Now, with the girls, this will be easier. With the guys, we might have too many to do it, but I'm going to have the adults sleeping either just inside the classrooms, because they do this at Love Begins Here, where they sleep inside the classrooms. We just have to have 2 adults in the room. Otherwise, they'll sleep in the hallway outside the doors. But there's been times in the past where there's been bullying going on. There's been tons of screwing around. There's been destroying things in the room, messing with the chalkboards or the white boards and all that kind of stuff. And we just can't have that. So anyway, there's 3 classrooms in there we can use as dorms. I think with the girls, we'll probably use 2 with 17 girls. I think, a room of 8, a room of 9. They're really big classrooms. I think we can make that work. And then have people, like I said, we'll pair up adults and have them assigned.
Are you going to want me sleeping in with the girls or no?
I don't know. I mean, at this point, I know Jill and Angie and Shannon and Sam are all staying over. So if we keep it to 2 rooms, we can make it work.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, but we'd have you down in the room.
Do you want us? Oops, sorry. Go ahead, Scott.
I was just going to ask, these are classrooms at the school?
Yeah, these are classrooms at Grady. We'll be in the middle school wing.
Okay.
So basically the classrooms that we use for Monday night
Yes.
youth
Okay.
ministry, those 3 classrooms.
Sure.
We could also open, and maybe Brenda, we put you in this room. There's a storeroom, but it's an old classroom, but they use it for like their curriculum library and stuff like that and resources. So we'd probably put you in there. Otherwise, I may go in there. I don't know. I got to go down there and spend some time and see where I'm going to be. I usually like to be away from the students just because of my role, but nearby. So like so those of you guys who were at the previous retreats, I'd be up in the gym at St. Mary's, which was up half a level from where the classrooms were. This one, I just don't know. I gotta think it through.
So do we bring our own blow up mattresses and our own bivouacs and all that kind of stuff?
Yep. Bring anything you need to sleep. Yeah, air mattresses, sleeping bags, pillows, CPAPs. Whatever you need.
Okay.
And then you'll have your own personal space there. So anyway, so that's the first night. So then when we wake up in the morning, as you can see on the screen here, team wake up about 6:45. We'll wake up the students. We'll have breakfast set from 7:15 to about, 7:50 is the outside. I would like to be, that time 7:15 to 7:50 there includes them getting dressed and themselves packed and ready to go. So I'm going to encourage them to bring like a small, like a small pack, like a day pack or a string bag or something like that to carry things in. And then we play a really short video. I edited it down from about 7 or 8 minutes to 5, to try and, to get that in there. And it's a video we've shown in the past, and it's just about a guy's experience of beauty. And then We get on the bus at 8 o'clock and we head out. Like I said, the first stop potentially is right on the way. It's called the Expelli Memorial Chapel. It's literally like 50 yards up a farm driveway, but it's a public site. You know, anybody can stop. There's a little place to pull off and to do stuff. It's not like we're
Is that
trying.
off of County B?
Yeah,
Okay, I know where it is.
yeah. And like I said, we're going to spend like 10 minutes there tops. But it's just kind of it's like an extra, and I've got it kind of figured out. Like if we're here at this time, we can stop. If we're not, we keep going. And it's not, if we miss it, it's not going to be the end of the world, because the next stop is St. Anne's Shrine, which is in Plain. And for those of you guys who have been there, St. Luke's is the big church, and it's a big, really cool church. They actually just did some renovation work on it a couple of years ago, actually when we were there. But the shrine is about a quarter-mile hike up a hill, and it's something they built about 100 years ago that, it's just this little shrine at the top of the hill. And there's a picture of it in the workbook. It was the one that I think I showed you. The chapel is big enough for about 2 small groups to be in there. So what we usually do is we usually take turns going in there. And I mean, I guess I don't have my camera on in this one. But it's got a picture of this side of shrine. It's got like 6 little pews that hold like 2 people each. And it's funny, for one of the retreats, there's actually another group that's coming after us. They're holding mass up there. So they do that for groups, but we just don't have that kind of time on the stop, unfortunately. But we spend about, what do we got here? We spent about an hour there, a little less, 50 minutes. We'll get there about, if we don't stop at this Expelli Chapel, we'll be there by 9 o'clock. We'll be there till 10 o'clock. It's about a 10 to 15 minute hike up the hill and 10 to 15 minutes down. And then we'd have about a half hour up at the top of the hill if we do it right. And then sometimes we're actually able to do our small groups there, which is kind of nice because there is some like little wooded spots, and then you can have your small group meeting there. And then we get on the bus and we head down to the next stop, which is only like 15 minutes away. And it's a place called Our Lady of the Fields. And it's another old church built in like the 1800s. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Everybody should be able to fit in there. It's a tight fit, but it's just out in the middle of nowhere. They hold like 2 or 3 masses there a year. It's right, the cemetery is right out there, and there's gravestones from the 1850s and all that kind of stuff. But it's just a cool little spot. The nice thing about that place is it's popular enough where they actually have across the street in the parking lot, they actually have a couple of pit toilets. So that'll be one of our potential bathroom stops. So I got school buses because of the cost. So when we did this, the first time we did it, we actually got a coach bus, but we also had like 50 people on it. This time we got school buses because of the cost, and it worked out pretty well for the girls. The guys, not so much. We were behind schedule all day because of the guys having to go to the bathroom. It was just nuts. I don't know if they just, mess around too much or what, but anyhow, but then we're there for about 40 minutes, something like that, which is plenty of time. There's definitely a time there to do the small groups outside. The only way that would change, and this happened 2 years ago, we did the girls' retreat first, and the girls got this beautiful weekend where it was probably 60 degrees. For the boys, it was 40. And we didn't have nearly enough cheese to go with the wine on that one. So, but yeah, it was the tale of 2 weekends. It was amazing. Then we get on the bus. We've got about, let's see, close to 45 minutes on the bus. So there's time to do small groups. Occasionally on the bus, there's other things that we do. You may have noticed in here, there's like the rosary. We pray the rosary throughout the day. So back up, like when we get on the bus, we'll pray the rosary. If you happen to go into the PDF that I sent you, what I usually do is I usually have the small group leaders and any other people that are along lead one mystery of the Rosary. We do, for those of you who are in high school, we do the scriptural rosary. The scriptural rosary is in the back of the book, and so we do a scriptural rosary. So I'll just take volunteers, and we can set it up. Then we can set it up on Friday night, and then everything's there. You just basically have to read it. So we do the first one on the first bus ride. We do the second one after we leave the second stop. Occasionally I'll have these little talks that weave through here. It's called 7 Things to Seriously Consider. The first one's on Friday night, and then there's one in the bus right off the bat. When we leave, it's called What Is It About Beauty? And it's a talk about, how we experience beauty through our senses. And, that's, which is kind of an obvious thing, but it's kind of one way that God uses to reach us, and maybe one of the reasons he created our senses. The next one, right before lunch, we do the beauty of the Magnificat. So we're talking about beautiful places, but we're also talking about beautiful things. Pray the Angels, and then we go to Pizza Pub in the Dells for lunch. We get the buffet there, so everybody just goes in there, sits down, and eats as much as they can. Get back on the bus, and we have a 5-6 minute drive to St. Cecilia's Church, and we spend some time at St. Cecilia's. Pray another decade of the Rosary, do another talk there, and I've got about 45 minutes at St. Cecilia's. So then there's some time to walk around, some time to venerate the relics. They have a relic of the True Cross there, which is like a couple of years ago. Actually, the last 2 times they were kids, they had no idea there were relics of the True Cross available. A couple of them, it just blew their mind. That was there, and that was like the favorite thing, is like realizing that was actually a part of the True Cross. So I thought that was pretty cool. Then we have about a 15-minute bus ride. We go to the National Shrine of St. Philomena up at Briggsville. And this is, it's a small church. It's in Briggsville, which is just a little wide spot in the road, but it's a fairly good sized church. The curator of the place, I've known her for a number of years after we did a service project up there. And her name's Susan Hilliard, and she is the curator of the National Shrine. So she goes over to the primary shrine in Italy from time to time, and she'll give us a talk for part of this. And she'll kind of tell us about her experiences with St. Philomena. So it's kind of cool. And then the shrine itself is actually outdoors. So, but it's the kids that at first glance you'd be like, okay, it doesn't seem much, but a lot of the kids will say that was their favorite stop. So, from there, depending on the weather is what's going to determine where we go. The last stop is either going to be at St. Mary of the Oaks Shrine at Indian Lake. It's a Dane County park up near Marksville. Or if I can get a hold of the right person, we may go to the cathedral, which is still under construction. I got to find out if we can use that. If it's bad weather, I thought we could go there. Monsignor Bartilla suggested that to me, but I got to figure out how we actually go there since it's under construction. So I'm just not sure about that one yet. And then we head back to the school. So we're already to the end of the day. We get back to Goretti's school at about 5:20 or so, have dinner, kind of decompress a little bit. And then we go off to the evening program. I mean, it's pretty fast moving. There's like 40 minutes set aside for dinner. That night we're having the taco bar. So that one, there's a little bit more prep, but I've already bought 10 pounds of hamburger. I'm going to try and brown it up before the thing. So all you got to do is mix the stuff up. Go ahead.
Steve, are you going to bring crock pots in?
I'll have to see what's there. I don't know if they because Nescos are kind of overkill for that.
Yeah.
So I've got one from home. I'll have to see what they've got there. I'm trying to remember. They had one at St. Andrew, didn't they? Or did they just have Nescos? I'm trying to remember. I'll have to look. I'll see what I'll put put a note.
I've never done a retreat at St. Andrews, so I don't know.
But I think I brought some stuff from there one year was why.
Oh, okay.
So I'll see. Otherwise, I got one at home. It's not huge, but yeah, we can do that.
And are we doing the chicken this year or just the taco meat?
We're just gonna do the taco meat.
Okay.
Did we lose somebody? I think we lost somebody. Oh, we lost Kieran. Let's see here. So then we go into the evening program, and so the Friday night program, let me back up here. Friday night program, we start down in the gathering space of the school, but I'm going to have a presentation area set up in the narthex at Goretti, and it's going to be over in the area, like in the north part of the narthex. So kind of over, not quite as far as where that big painting of St. Maria Goretti is, but kind of in that glassed-in area. Kind of where the welcome table is where we're going to be. And so we're going to have a projector and a screen and chairs all set up there. We'll do that, and we can leave it up, set up on Friday night. And that's where the speaker will give the talk. On Saturday night, we'll do it there as well. So they'll be set up for a couple of short videos. And then the keynote speaker on Saturday night will give the talk there as well.
Hey, Steve, can I interrupt just for a second? When I come in on Friday at 2:00, is that the narthex that's going to be set up?
That's what we're going to set up first.
Okay, I didn't know if it was that or over in the actual church itself.
Well, it's in the church. So the narthex in the church.
Yeah, I thought you meant the in the school. I thought
the gathering space. Yeah, see, school doesn't get out till 2:50.
Oh, okay. All right.
And so that's why I figure, well, let's go up there, get set up. And, I'll have some things up there that we'll need for Saturday night. And maybe I'll have things carted up and we can take it up there, or I can take it up there and meet people there. We'll figure it out.
So 2:00 at the church. 2:00 at the church.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, I will try and be up there. And if I'm not up there, if you poke in the narthex and I'm not there, just come down to the church or come down to the school. But at that point, hopefully I'm going to have a lot of the stuff already carted up there, but it may be on carts ready to go up there.
Yeah, that's good. I just want to be in the right place.
Yep.
Okay.
So, do you have my phone number? Do you have my phone number, Scott? Or
I do. I got your email.
Okay, so yeah, you can always just text me ahead of time, like where are you or something like that.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
So, and then who else? Johnny, you're not coming till later, so you'll come to the school. Sam, when you come, we'll probably be in the school by then. Brenda, yeah, will be in the school. So,
Stephen,
yeah,
what time does class end?
2:50.
Anytime I've picked up the kids, it's always been 3, and then they're usually all hanging out till 3:30.
Picked up the kids.
Or grandkids from their homeschool group.
This is at St. Maria Goretti. This isn't at St. Mary.
Oh, thank you. I'm like, what is going on? I'm so confused right now.
Yeah.
So is this the first year you're doing it at Maria Goretti?
Yep.
Oh, that makes so much sense. I'm so glad we talked about this, because guess what, guys? I would have driven over to St. Mary's. Totally.
She'd be like, where are you?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Don't mind me. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we're doing it there for a number of reasons. One is I don't have to move nearly as much stuff. I mean, I spent 20 hours getting things over to St. Mary's before, but it's free. And right now they're charging at St. Mary's, so we'd be spending $750 each weekend to basically have a place to sleep. I'm kind of like, nah. So, and I'm not even sure we'll go back there next year for the other one. I'm considering actually going to St. Andrew to do it there, but we'll see. But then in the evening, then we're gonna. So here's where I've got the men's and the women's. There's like their own sections here. Father Ryan has given the men's talk. Shannon's given the women's talk, and there is a short video that Ascension Presents put out. One by the men's is by Bobby Angel, the women's is by Jackie Francois Angel. So they're a married couple. On Virtue. Then what we do is we have a small group, and then we have a short break, and then we'll do a candlelight procession to the church. It's not far from there, but we have candles already set up, and then they just go right into the church from there. And then we'll have adoration and confession and all that. So after that, then there's a small group to kind of unpack things. We'll either do night prayer and the daily exam before that, or we'll do small groups and then come back and do that. I probably will just do small groups and then come back and do night prayer. And all the stuff for night prayer and the daily exam, and there's instructions in the workbook. Also in the workbook for adoration and confession is everything for exposition, including like O Salutaris, and it's got the whole script, which I will be getting to the priest so that we're using the same script. And then it's got all the closing stuff, and all the benediction is all in there. So people just have to follow along. So then we head back over to the school for a snack, some free time, showers. At that point, they'll probably maybe get a little gym time, but they're going to have to understand that that's their shower time too. So they're not going to be able to play in the gym up to the last minute and then expect a shower. So it's, maybe do a little both type of thing. And then, then we're in bed. Sunday morning we're going to basically get them up at 7:45. Mass is at 8:30. We're not going to feed them beforehand. We're just going to let them sleep in a little bit, and then we'll get them up, get them right over to Mass, and then we'll serve breakfast after Mass. I thought about, doing a real early breakfast and doing the 10:30 Mass, and I figured it's going to be much better to do the 8:30 Mass, I think. And then we'll come back after breakfast, do our closing session. If there's time, we'll do a game, couple of short videos, small groups, and then our speaker, our Sunday morning keynote. Todd Ashburn's going to give the one for the boys, and Sam's going to give the one for the girls. And that's going to be called Rooted in Truth. So we've gone, again, the progression is lead with the beautiful, go to the good, end in the truth type of thing. And this is what Bishop Barron talks about in that video.
Steve, you said you were going to send out that video to your small groups. Can you send that to me also?
I'm just going to send it to the whole list of everybody.
Okay, good.
I'm just saying that it would be good for the small group leaders to kind of have that theory in their mind for, kind of, the whole thought process behind what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you saw in here a few times these 7 things to seriously consider, those kind of, again, weave through there. They're like little 5-minute talks. I will be recording the ones that I can, and posting those. I usually post those on a blind link, but I'll record the talks and post those there as well. And then there's, after the last small group, there's a couple of closing things for them to reflect on, including the video. One of the videos that we showed on Friday night, we show it again. It's this 4.5-minute video set to kind of a slow jazz tune, where Peter Kraft is talking about truth, goodness, and beauty. So it's kind of a cool little thing. And it's just the whole time it's a picture of someone putting a needle on a record and it just going while this is going on, while the song is going in the background. So it's kind of cool. And then conclusion, dismissal, the goal is to be done at 12:30. Anybody who can stay to help clean up a little bit, that'd be great. Some things we will need to tear down the stuff in the narthex on, get rid of that. We're gonna need to tear down the things in the narthex on Saturday evening, because we can't have all that stuff sitting out for when masses happen on Sunday morning. So I will need logistical help up there with that. But like, we're borrowing the chairs from the parish hall, and our adult faith formation guy, Matthew, has a bunch of cushions for those chairs that he uses for OCIA. So we're going to use the cushions on those chairs, which will be nice. But we'll have to get that and the screen and everything torn down and put away on Saturday evening. It may be after we put people to bed. It may be if I've got some logistics people that can help me do that. It's usually kind of like do what we can. Sometimes I actually have the students stay there for a couple minutes, and like when we're at St. Mary's, I like everybody grab 2 chairs and take them downstairs, and we basically everybody dismantles it, and it works pretty quickly too. So we'll see how that goes. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, if we do this right, the cleanup will take about an hour and a half. I was surprised at how quick it went last time, but you know, there will be some after the boys retreat. There will be some food left over that we'll need to move up to the church. There's a bigger place to store any leftover food that we need for the girls retreat. We'll just need to move it up there on carts. Or if we get it on carts, I can take it up there. And since I work there, we can just throw a lot of stuff in the religious education storage room, and it should be pretty quick. I don't even know if, and we'll have another presentation area set up in the gathering space. I don't even know if we'll have to pull that apart. The janitor might be able to pull that apart for us. So we just need to get our stuff out basically. And then we just need to make sure the dorms are clean and all that kind of stuff, or that they're not, you know, destroyed. You know, we don't need to necessarily clean everything because the janitor can do that. But it shouldn't take us that long to get all cleaned up then. And then after the boys retreat, then we come back the next week and do it all over again for the girls. So, yep. So that's in a nutshell. That's kind of the process. This one is, like I said, you know, there's a lot of small group time. I mean, after every one of those stops, there's a time for the small groups to be together. So when we get on the buses, I have everybody sit in their small groups. Okay, that doesn't mean that after the small group portion is over, they can't get up and move around and sit with their friends or whatever, because I do intentionally split up some groups, because otherwise all they're doing is spending all their time with their tribe. And there's some, especially boys, but it's also girls that need some time apart. You know, we need them to have some time apart.
Like the Pete and Pete show.
Yeah, PB and PC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like that one night when I had to tell them to stop holding hands in the class. Like, what do you
Well,
guys
that's what
doing?
these guys. Where do they come up with these?
I don't even know.
That
But
bad.
but you know, it's going to be I think the bigger challenge is going to be once it's. I think there's some people that are going to be wandering around the school halls, and it's going to be making sure that people aren't in places they shouldn't be, right? And that they're not messing in the kids' lockers and going into the feller school and all this, and going into the gym or doing whatever. You know, it's got to be a little bit more controlled than that. So that'll be, and I think the bigger problems with the boys. So
Yeah, well, I was trained by Jesuits, and they carried bullwhips. That's probably not. You can't do that, right? No bullwhips.
I'm not going to tell.
1970s thing. So I, it being the 2020s, I'm guessing that's.
Yeah, probably wouldn't go good, but you know, in the moment, it would work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's pretty good. And usually on Saturday night, they're pretty tired. So
Yeah.
I can always bring down my super soaker with batteries and fill it with holy water.
Yeah. That'll
do that. But then we have to explain to their parents why they burst into flames.
Yeah, exactly.
They should know. Oh.
So
So
anyway,
here's a practical question, Steve. So given that my military career was in the late 70s and early 80s, and in anticipation of the coming intense sleep deprivation that is coming this way, what are the chances of just slipping out, heading home for 10, 15 minutes, showering up and coming back?
what are you thinking, in the evening or in the morning?
Oh, just like whenever it's convenient. I may not. Is that
that's
going to be like a
probably
window
doable.
of opportunity? It's not like a window of opportunity. I live 5 minutes from.
Yeah, I mean, like if you want to do it during breakfast or something like that,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can do that then.
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't announce it to them. I would just be like, yeah,
Yeah, I was just making sure that
just let me or somebody else know so we
Yeah,
keep an
okay.
eye on the guys.
Yeah, sounds good. I just want to make sure there's enough coverage. I don't want to leave anybody high and dry with a bunch of
Yeah.
unruly kids without supervision.
Yeah, and I've actually got a fair amount of sleep built in. So like on Saturday night, not that everybody will, but if they go to bed when the lights go out, they can get 9 hours of sleep.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah. Well, we can too. I mean,
They're
because
also, they're
it's
also
like,
14, 15 years old.
yeah, but that's what I mean. But that's why I'm going to post you guys there. So it'd be like, okay, guys, it's time to go to sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't. We go there. I mean, I almost had to go to confession after the boys because I went down there and basically had to threaten their lives. But on Friday night, even we got
When the boys had an axe fight down in the room in one of the bedrooms, I was ready to. Yeah.
yeah, that was bad.
That's not good.
Yeah,
No,
even on Friday night, they can get 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
That'll be the harder night.
Friday night. Yeah. Yeah.
Because as much as they've been moaning and complaining about not wanting to do this, then they're there and they're with their friends. And
Yeah. 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 That's right. Yeah. That makes sense. It'll be good though. It'll be great.
so,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, so it's a good time. It's like once everybody gets there and gets settled,
Yeah.
you know,
Get the rhythm going. Get a little rhythm going.
yeah. Yeah, and this one's definitely, a different style of retreat than the other one. The other one's there doing all of our activities on site and all that, but this one with the pilgrimage built into there, it works really well. So, all right. What did I forget?
We have to figure out when I'm going to get keys or to get into so I can get into the building on Saturday.
Yep, I've started asking about that, so we'll get you something there. It's going to be the bigger question is where do we put them? Where do we leave them so that you can get at them? It may be a thing where what I'll have to do is take it and put it like in my gas cap, or something like that. My car, so that you can get at it. But we'll see. We'll make something work.
Okay.
Well, there's that, but then there's also people are going to be coming around the time you're coming, or maybe a little bit after. So how do we get them into the building? That's going to be the bigger thing too. And on Saturday for which one? I think it's for the boys' retreat. There's a volleyball event going on in the gym from 8 to 4.
Oh.
And I've sent an email to all the proper people on our end and said, in no uncertain terms, there will be nobody from that event leaving and coming into any of our areas. It's not going to happen. And the athletic director has, he's mirrored that. So, but that doesn't mean that somebody still isn't going to do it. But I just don't want to have people's personal things in the hallway, and then there's roving bands of students walking around the halls that shouldn't be there. So other than that, any questions? Any worries?
You're collecting phones from the students, right, at the start of the weekend? And then for us, are you having us hang out to our phones? Are you collecting ours too?
So I told the students don't even bring them. But certainly we will say, if you have your phones, we will collect them.
Mm-hmm.
There really shouldn't be any reason for you guys to have yours unless you wanted to take it and put it in airplane mode and take some pictures of the group or something like that. But I always kind of figure I'll have mine because we need it for, emergency call or whatever. Plus I have to be texting. We have one boy student who's going to be joining us about 1:00 on Saturday. So I need to be able to coordinate with his parents and stuff like that. But, I always think it's best if the students don't see us with phones out, because then to them, it's a double standard. Even though we know we need it for logistics or whatever, we're never going to be that far apart.
Okay.
So even when we're going on some of the hikes, we still will always be within eye shot of each other.
So in the past, you've had them leave their phones in their dorms. So are you still allowing that, or are you actually collecting them now?
I don't know. I mean, I think it would be better to collect them, because then otherwise they start screwing around with them in the dorms. They really don't. I mean, I know some people theoretically need it to sleep and all that kind of stuff, but that isn't what they typically use it for. They usually abuse it. And like on Wednesday nights, like we haven't been getting the phones collected in time. So like on DTS nights, like last night, like everybody still had their phones when they were screwing around on their phones when they should have been already been collected. So it's too much of a temptation. My point is, it's too much of a temptation to leave them where they can get at them easily. So, and I've had a couple students say they plan to leave them at home and stuff like that. So, we'll just have to play it by ear. I mean, having a collection bin for them wouldn't be the worst thing. If somebody can make a case that they have to have it for falling asleep or something like that, I'm willing to listen. But I know from experience that that usually is not the case. So.
Cool. Other thing is, so what are you giving any sort of instructions as to like what should we wear on Saturday? Because it sounds like we're going to be maybe doing some walking with that. Or are you giving any guidance on that, or it's pretty much just like dressing appropriately to be in a church?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I actually had put some stuff in the information form that I sent to students, but I probably didn't send that to you guys. But it's basically we're going to be doing some hiking. We've got 2 places where we're going to be doing like a half to 3/4 of a mile of a hike. Both of them up a hill. So, but I say dress for the weather. So good sturdy walking shoes, sweatshirt or sweater or whatever you might need. We even went up one with the threat of rain. And we left it up to the students, and the students all at one group decided to go. And the group that all went up the hill decided to go up the hill, stayed dry. The group that stayed down in the church got pummeled by a thunderstorm with hail, which was a 1/4 mile away from us, and we got nothing. So, so yeah, it's just basically, prepare for the weather. I mean, that the way the weather's been, it's like one day it's 40, the next day it's 71. So it's just you might have to bring clothes for both. You may show up in a jacket, and then it's too hot to, to need a coat on Saturday, and then you may have to leave in a jacket on Sunday. The way things have been going. So yeah, and then like I will have a little it's actually a hydration pack, but I won't have the hydration pack in there, so I'll have some things in there. I'll probably bring my hiking poles because I need them for a couple of the steep spots for getting down and stuff like that. But people want to bring hiking poles or whatever, they could do that too. I mean, there's a couple of spots. There's a little bit of rough terrain. So, but I'd say good sturdy hiking shoes or hiking boots, and then what you need for the weather, and a water bottle. I will have some water on the bus, but I prefer to have people bring their own water bottles so we don't have half-drank water bottles left all over the place. So,
All righty.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
I will let you guys go. If like I said, I'll post this for the others to watch. Like we probably had a third, maybe 1/4 of the people that are involved in this. So I think there were a lot of conflicts, but we'll see. But like I said, this will be fun, so just be praying. I will try and probably won't get the small group set up much before the retreats, but I will try to do that. I know some people want to be able to pray for their students, but I just be praying for all of them. Trying to see if I need anybody's information here. I think I've got everybody's stuff that I need. So that's here. But if anything changes as far as your arrival times, let me know. Shannon, I'll get yours from you later, since you're up the stairs and over there. So, all right. Well, sounds good, guys. I appreciate all your help and your willingness to be here and to work with the students, and I look forward to having a great time.
That'd be great.
Thanks so much, Steve.
All right. Talk to y'all soon.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay. God bless.